So let's go to the first example here, which is called step through. So what I'm going to do as usual, I'm going to right click, I'm going to inspect here, and that's my DevTools. As you can see, all the time I should make my DevTools half a screen and the other half, which will be my text editor here. So what is stepping through? So stepping through simply when I'm trying to debug, so here it's telling you click on debug button. So if I click on debug button, as you can see, I will just go to the debug mode. It's simple, it's not a problem here. Now, when we are in debug mode, as you can see, we have a few buttons here. And that's what we call step through or step here. If I hover over it, as you can see, it's step, or you can use F9. F9 on Windows, I think it should work on Mac as well. But the idea here is, if I want to go through my code line by line, I can use this button here, as you can see. And this button allows me to go line by line through my code. There's a question here, why do I need to go line by line through my code? Can anyone answer this question? Why do I need to go line by line through my code?
For tracking my code.
If there's some code I don't understand, or if I have a bug or something, it will be a good idea to go step by step, line by line through my code, because in the debugger, I can understand it. Even if the code is not understandable, but if I go in the debug line by line, I can see everything. I can see the value of the variable. It will make it easy for me to understand what's going on. Now, if I click on the step here, which line do you think my code here, it will jump to? Will it go to line 6 or line 8 or line, which line it will go? Yes?
21.
21, why?
That's like after
Because this is a comment.
Because those are, what are those?
Comment.
A comment, and JavaScript by default ignores a comment simply like that. Use trigger just statement here, JavaScript already know it, it will not go through it. And these are comments, so JavaScript is just going to ignore them. So if I click on step, it will go directly to this line here, line 21. Okay, in line 21, as you can see, I'm declaring a variable, and this variable did click OK. It's just a variable here. I'm using as a keyword let to declare my variable. And then I'm using a function in JavaScript, which is called confirm. Can anyone tell me what does confirm do? So confirm is a function or a method. And inside this function, as you can see, I can pass any text I want to. It will be a string here. Please click OK. So now if I go stop, notice what will happen. Click and voila. So that's what confirm do. What confirm here do, it will open like a pop-up on your browser, and here that's the message, that's your message here. Whatever you write inside confirm, you will see the message here, as you can see. And here you have two possibilities. Either you will cancel, either you say okay. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, now if I click OK, what do you think the value here it will be, the value of this variable? So when I click OK, this function returns something. This confirm returns something, and I'm saving it in this variable. So my question here, if I click OK, what is the value now it will be stored in this variable? Yes.
It will alert. It will return alert.
No. Confirm return a boolean.
True.
Yes, so confirm.
Yeah, sorry, is that true?
Again, confirm function. You need to remember the function. So it's a good idea. If you forget, you can Google them, but it's good. For example, console.log, now we know we use it to log stuff. Confirm here, when I use this method or this function, it will return a boolean, either true or false. If I click OK, as you can see, it will return me true. And true here, I'm saying if true is not equal to true, then I'm going to alert sad face here. Else, I'm going to alert thank you. Which line of code it will be executed, in the if block or the else block?
Else.
Else, why?
Because you click OK and it's true.
Yes, but here, because of this condition here, I'm saying true is not equal to true. Is that correct? Is that true or false?
No,
of course
it's false because
it's false because true is equal to true. Because this one is false, this part will never be executed, and then it will go to the else block, and this one it will be executed. So let's click, and as you can see here, directly go to the else block, and now it will alert thank you. Again, so we know now what confirm is. Alert is just another function in JavaScript. Also, I can write my message, and let's notice what alert is doing. So if I step, so alert also, it will show me a pop-up, and here it will write my message here. So the message I passed inside alert here, it will show me here, thank you. And all I have to do just okay. Voila, that's my program. It's simple program. Let's exit the debug mode and go again, debug again. If I click step, it will go to this line. And now if you remember the first time I said okay, let's click. And now instead of okay, I will say cancel. If I click cancel, what do you think the return value, what this function is gonna return?
False.
False.
False. So I told you to return a Boolean, either true or false, because I click cancel, it will return false. And here, false not equal to true. Is that true or false?
True.
It's true. It's true.
It is true, because false and true, they do not equal each other. Because this one is true, this part of the code, it will be executed. If I click on this one, and as you can see now, it go to this line. Now it will alert a sad face, as you can see. Voila. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So step through mean, if I click on the debug here mode, and I can go line by line through my code, as you can see. Click, then it will alert, do something for me. Then I go to the next line, then I go to the next line, and so on and so on and so on. So this button here, when I'm inside the debug mode, it allows me to go line by line through my code. We go line by line through my code if I don't understand what's going on in my code, or if I have a bug, or if I have something not okay in my code. So we don't debug only when we have a bug or error. Also, we debug if we don't understand the code, because as you can see, if I am inside my debugger, it will be very easy for me to understand the code, even if I don't know what confirm is doing. When I try it here, now I know what confirm is doing. Now I know what alert function is doing. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Yes.
Debugging, again, debugging is very, very important too. So if there is one thing you're gonna learn in this course, if you just learn debugging very well, it will be enough for you. Just debugging. Because debugging is a very important skill. If you know how to debug your code, you can write any code you want to, you can debug any code you want to, you can understand any code you want to. It's a very important skill. Okay, so that's what we call step through. It's allow us to go line by line through our codes. That should be simple.
Sam,
Okay.
can you
Yes.
go to the example one statement and
Which example?
yeah, you just go back, please. I show you because I have a confusion. Lesson plans in the computers and developers.
Again, Mohammed, I did not get your question.
Yeah, lesson plans, computers and developers in this section.
Computer and developers, yes.
Yes, examples, trainings, barriers, yeah.
Examples.
And the statement.
Which line? Which number?
There is a one, I think the exercise.
Okay,
There
let's
is
go to the
state
exercise.
if conditional statements here. for
Yes,
number five.
conditional statement. Okay.
So here, if I change the text Alamgir, it is 8
Mhm.
character, and the number 9, 10, if I put 8, and number 12, if I put 8 also, so it's not show the perfect, it shows always short. So it is confusing for me.
So if I put, if here the length
Alamgir,
is
yeah.
8, let's
8
make it
character
8.
is
Let's make it 8. Voila. And let's see why it's confusing for you. So let's debug our code. Always, even if you know what code is doing, it's a good idea to debug your code. So let's click debug and let's see what's going on here. Voila. So I'm gonna here use step, click, click, click. So the length now here, as you can see, it's 9. It's greater than 9 is greater than 4. So what's going to do here, it's just gonna type long,
Yeah.
as you can see. So it's typing just long, as you can see.
yeah, this is it works, but for me, if I put the first line, replace the Ewin here, replace the Alamgir. This is 8 character, right?
You want 8
The
characters.
first line, the number 8, line number 8.
Line number 8. Yeah, but that's line
No,
number 8.
line number
It's-
3 now. The first line.
This you don't have to do with this because your condition is not related to this one.
Mhm.
Your condition related to A. Your condition here, as you can see, it's related to this variable A. It's not
Okay, so
related
if you
to this
change-
variable B.
Mhm. Okay. So if you change the number here, number 10, line number 10, if you change the 9,
Here, change it to 9.
9, yes, and the number 12, line number 12, if you change 9 again,
Where's number 12? 9, yes.
yes, then it should be the perfect, right? Output.
Well, it depends how many characters we have. 1, 2,
Yeah, 9
3,
characters.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes,
Yes.
they are 9. Should be perfect.
Okay, so if I put number 6, Alamgir is 8 character. Okay.
Where is Alamgir?
No, if I change the text, number 6,
Yes. 2,
it's like you write Alamgir, yes, A-L-A-M,
yes.
A-M, no, M. My
Okay.
name, M,
Okay, your name, okay.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, now you can change the number 10 is 8. Line number, yeah, 8. And no, 12, 8. It should be also perfect, but output is not coming perfect. It's coming the short.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Short, it will
5,
be
6, 7.
you know.
It will be short because you have
Short.
7 characters in your
Seven.
name.
Mhm. Okay.
You have 7
Yes,
characters and the condition is 8. So it's
8,
normal, it will be
okay.
short.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's go back to our dev tools here. Go to isolate, go to example. We've seen steps through. Now let's go to the scope panel. So what is the scope panel here? It's also, you need to read these notes because they are quite important. I'm explaining them, but you can read them here. It will be a good idea. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to open my dev tools as usual. And now what I can do, I can just click debug and voila, I am here. Now, what is the scope panel here? So that's the scope panel here, as you can see. Can anyone tell me what is the scope, what we are doing in the scope here? Why the scope panel is important? So why is the scope panel here? It is important.
Because it check the scope of the variables in your program and other.
Yes. So what the scope is going to do here, it will show the scope of a variable. And you may tell me, what is the scope? The scope is the place where the variable lives. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, if now we have some global variables, a global variable, for example, alert, stuff like that, they are global. That means this function is available everywhere. Console.log is a global variable. That's me. Oh, I'm sorry, global function or a method. That means it's available everywhere. But now I have script. So what does script mean? That means these variables are inside this file only. And this file scope, they only live inside only this file. So if I have another JavaScript file here, I cannot use this variable because the scope of this variable here, the scope of this variable is just my script that's been my file. So I can use this variable as long as I am on the same file. But if I change the file, I cannot use it anymore. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So now it shows us two types of scope here, global variable. Script, that means the variable I am creating it inside my file here. And that means they're available only inside my file here. Of course, we have another scope here. So we just don't have the global and script. We also have a block scope. We also have a function scope. So we don't know, currently we did not study the function yet, so I cannot explain it now. But for you to know that this scope here, it's super important. Why? Because it's telling me where this variable I can use. That means if it's script, that means I can use this, click OK, which is this variable. I can use it inside my file here, but I cannot use it inside another file. Message, same idea. So I have a variable message. Now I can use it inside this file. It's okay, but I cannot use it inside another file. Global variable, I can use them any place. As you can see, alert, which is the method, I can use it any place. Console.log, I can use it in any place, as you can see. We've seen the Windows object. So the global here, it's a Windows object. All the function or the method inside the global object or Windows global object. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Good.
Cone
So
state will be exist inside the script also.
Again?
Cone state will be exist inside in a script also. Like let.
You mean const?
Yeah, const.
There is no difference in the scope between const and let. Const
Okay,
and let,
so
they have the same scope. The only difference between them is const. When I assign a value to const, I cannot change it. With let, I can change it.
okay.
But anyway, let's go to my script here and add some new stuff here because, okay, let's get here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create just a block. So block, as you can see, that's what you call the block. A block is any curly brace, we call it a block. Now here I can declare a new variable using const or let, it doesn't matter. They are the same. So I can, because const and let, they have the same scope. It's a block scope. I can just say const, let's just name it age. It's equal to 30, like that. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to also create a function just to show you. So I can create a function. I can just say, for example, say, hello. I'm not going to use a function, but just to show you something. And here I can just say var age, it's equal to 20. Notice I have two variables with the same name, but that's okay. Why? Because this variable here, I'm using const and let, its scope is only inside this block. That means I can only use this variable inside this curly brace. I can never use it outside of this curly brace. If I try to log it now, it will not work. So let's try to console.log it. I will get an error. It will tell me age is not defined. Console.log age. And as you can see, it doesn't give me anything here. Now we will get an error. So my point of this one here, I'll show you why I'm doing this one here, just to show you the different scope here. If I click on this one and I click debug, and now notice here when I go through my code, what will happen? Again, we're going to stop and step by step, and just you need to observe the scope. So let's click on that. So as you can see here, when I come to age, I have the scope is block. What does block mean? What does block mean?
The curly braces.
Yes, so that means this variable here, because I declare my variable inside this curly braces. By the way, if it could be if block or anything, it could be. The most important thing is curly brace like that. So if I declare my variable using const or let inside the curly brace, it only exists inside this curly brace. That means this variable, if I go out and try to access it, I cannot access it. Why? Because it's a block scope. That means it only exists inside this block. You may tell me, but this variable here, I've used let and it's available in the script. Yes, because here I created here outside of the block. I don't have a block like that. So I created at the top of the scope. That means it will be available for everything here. But this one I created inside the block here, which is a curly brace. That means here it only exists inside the curly brace. So as you can see, if I go to age here, age, I don't have a value for age, because if I come to this line here, I declare my variable, it's inside the block. That means it only lives inside the block. If I move outside the block, my variable here does not exist. And if I go now, I will have an error, as you can see. Voila. Age is not defined. Why age is not defined? Because simply I'm trying to access something does not exist. Voila. Is the idea clear? Debug again. And let's go to our scope here. So as you can see, I have block scope. Voila. And now here I can go to the function here. Let's go directly. var is a function scope. So it's not a block scope, just curly brace. No, var is related to the keyword function. That means here, this var here, also it will live only inside this curly brace. But again, var, it's a function scope. That's mean, again, this keyword is very important. That's mean if I declare a variable with var inside the function, it will only live inside this function body here, curly brace here, because I'm using a function here. But if it's not a function, if it's if statement, unlike that, here it will be a global variable. So that's really the difference between var and let and const. Let and const, they are block scope. It doesn't matter what it is. Is this if, it's a function, it's whatever, it doesn't matter. The most important thing, I have opening curly brace and closing curly brace. But with var, it's a function scope. That means if I declare it inside the function, it will only be known inside this function. But if I declare it inside a block, it will be a global variable, which is not good, as we discussed yesterday. So as you can see, we have different scope here. We have a block scope, we have function scope here. We have script scope, because now I created this variable. I didn't surround it with any block or anything. So if I go now to click like that. So as you can see, it's script. So the scope here is a script. That means I can use this variable and this variable inside my whole file. It's fine. It should not be a problem for me. And now what I can do here, I'm just confirming. I don't know what did I confirm. I confirm okay, so it will be true. And that's message. So here, if the click here, if true is not equal to true, it's the same example. Because this one here, it's false, because true is equal to true. That means I'm going to this one here. So my message here, it will be thank you, and then I'm gonna iterate thank you. Click. Voila, as you can see, thank you. So do you know now why we are using this scope here? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, how many scope do we have normally in JavaScript? How many different scope we have in JavaScript? How many scope do we have?
Two.
3.
First, block.
Global, block, global, and local.
One
Script.
function.
Yes, but first a block scope. So the block scope here, just a second. I have 1p. Let me just get rid of this one, get rid of this one, get rid of this one, and get rid of this one. So block scope, that means just curly brace here. Voila. So if I declare a variable inside a curly brace using const and let, it will only be known inside this curly brace. That's the reason why we say the let and const, they are a block scope. That means, again, if I define them inside any curly brace, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is just I have curly brace here. They will only live inside this curly brace.
Then how can I call the block scope?
How can you?
Called it.
What do you mean?
I cannot call it in my code.
No, it depends on your need. For example, in this block, I've created a variable. Let's say I want to log this variable. I can do everything inside the block. So if I need this variable for something, I will do everything inside the block here. That means I need to understand that inside the block, I can use this variable, but outside it, I cannot use it. That means whenever I want to do with this variable, I need to do it inside this block here.
So it's like a comment or what? It's a like comment for my code because my code it's not yet.
I did not get your question.
No, it's a like a comment for my code because my code it's not
No.
yet.
No, it's not like a comment in your code. You did not get my point. For example, I say if true, as you can see here, if true, I'm gonna, of course, we know true is true here. So because it's true all the time now, this part it will be executed. Now what I can do, I can declare a variable inside this one. I can just say const age, it's equal to 30. And here I can just log console.log age is 30. It's not a comment, no. It's just here, as you can see, this is a block because they have curly brace and curly brace. I can do the same. I can declare let and const inside the function. The most important for me is just curly brace, open curly brace and closing curly brace.
Okay.
I can use it with function. I can use it with object. I can do it with anything as long as I have curly brace open, curly brace closed. But with var is different. It's not depending on the opening and closing curly brace. I need to have this function here. So if I came here now, I declare a variable with var, and I say for, let's say, tall like that. It's equal to, for example, 13.6, something like that. Now I can access this variable here outside of the block because var, it's not a block scope. It's a function scope. Now here I cannot access this variable outside of my function. I can use it inside the function, but outside of the function, I cannot use it. But here, I can use it outside of my function. And let's try to log it and see. So console.log. Now here, if I say tall, notice, well, I have the variable. And if I try to run my code, I have tall, as you can see, 13.9. That's okay. My point here, you need to understand that var is a function scope. That means I can use var with functions. And why? Because if I have a function with a keyword function and I declare a variable with var, it will only live, the scope is only inside this function body here. But only if I have the keyword function. That's the reason why we say var is a function scope. But with let and const, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a function. It could be with if statement. It could be with anything as long as I have opening and closing curly brace. Voila. Is the idea clear?
Yeah.
Good. So currently we have block scope. Second, we have function scope. Which variable is function scope?
Where
Yes.
age?
Var, just var. So when we use the keyword var. Also, we have script scope. So script scope, when I declare a variable here. So as you can see, I'm declaring this variable, but it's not inside any block. That means I can access this variable in any place I want to, after here. After I declare it now, I can use it in any place I want to. It's fine. Because I just declare it outside of everything, so it will be available inside the whole script. That's what we call script scope. And actually scope is just one like that. And also we have global scope, as you know. So global scope like console.log or stuff like that. Voila. So in JavaScript, we have actually 4 scopes. The first one is block scope. You can use const and let inside a block. A block could be anything, if statement, function, whatever it is, it's fine. A var here is function scope. That means if I have a function keyword, and in the body of the function, I declare a variable with var, this variable, it will only live inside this function body here. It will not be known outside. So if I go here and try to log it, it will not work. Script scope, it will be available inside all my script. Global scope, it's available in any file in JavaScript. That's a different scope we will see in the scope by now. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Good. Let's go quickly here. I'm going to expand this guy. And now notice the scope here, it's script. Why it's script? Let's see. Because I've declared this variable here outside of everything. So now this variable, I can access it in any place I want to. Just click on it. I'm trying to confirm. Let's confirm here. And the message here also is a variable here. It will be a script scope. Why? Because as you can see, I just declared it outside of everything. Now I can access it in any place in my script. There's a small note here. I cannot use the variable before declaration. It is not possible. So I cannot go to line 23 and I say console.log message. It doesn't make sense. But when I declare the variable, then I can use it afterward. After this line, I can use message. After this line, I can use did click OK. But before, I cannot. Okay, that should be fine here. I did OK. So OK is not equal to OK. It's false. So it will go here. Thank you. And as you can see here, both my variable did click OK and message, both of them are script scope. Click should be OK. Is the scope panel is OK?
Yes. But
Yes.
Sam, may I ask a question?
Yes.
I saw there's another scope called module scope and it's running in module mode.
Yes. So module is actually a script. It's a file.
Oh,
In
okay.
JavaScript,
Okay.
in JavaScript, a module is just a file. So
Ah,
it's
I
actually
see.
a script. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
But we will do that when you do separation of concern, because when you do separation of concern, we use export and import. And then after that, we'll have a module. A module, I told you before in JavaScript, it's just my file here. So it's the same as script scope, yeah. Should be fine. Okay, we are hovering preview. So hover preview, what the hell is hover preview? Also, you can read this stuff here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my inspect here or my DevTools, and I can debug directly. So what is hover? What does I mean by hover? Well, when I go line by line through my code, notice I don't need really all the time to look at the scope here to know what's the value of my variable. If I hover over my variable, see, it gives me the value as well. So in Chrome DevTool here or in DevTools, it's actually quite interesting, because if I hover over the variable, it will give me its value. And now here, if I excuse this line hover over message, it will give me an empty string. Or I can just check the scope here, as you can see. So you have two ways to do it here. Also, I can hover over this one, it's true. Now, if I want to know what's the value, true is not equal to true, which is false, I can highlight everything. So if I highlight everything between the parentheses, it will tell me if my condition is false or true. Of course, it's false, so this guy is not be executed. It will go to the else block. Now my message here, it will change. So if I click on this one and I hover over message, my message changed. Now it becomes thank you. And now it will alert, as you can see, when I'm hovering, it will alert thank you. So let's try to go, and voila, as you can see. So what you can do also, you can just check the scope if you want to, which is very important to check the scope all the time. Or if you are lazy here, and you just want to focus on this part, you can just hover over the variable and it will give you your value. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
Good. Susanna? Susanna,
Yes.
am I going fast for you?
A little bit, but it's
Oh.
okay.
Okay. So did you understand hover? So whenever we
Yes.
execute a line, we just move our mouse like that and we'll see the value. Or we can just check the scope, as you can see, and we can find our value. Okay. That should be okay. Continue to here. So what is continue to here? Let's say, again, I have the same code. We are reviewing the same code again and again, because my objective, I'm trying to teach you that some dev tools when you are debugging. It doesn't matter what the code is. So let's try to debug here. Now, what if I want to come to this line here, this line specifically? Can I move this execution directly to this line here? I wanted to go to line 28. I don't want to go to line 26, because I understand line 26, it's okay, it's not a problem. I want to go to line, because I have an alert, it will alert, it will stop here, it will alert me. But anyway, I want to go to this line directly. Can I go that? Can I just move the execution to this line? Is it possible?
Yes.
So if I right click, notice where I'm doing here. So as you can see, I want to move to this line 35. And as you can see, when I hover over 35, I right click, and there is something called continue to here, as you can see. So if I click continue to here, notice it will just alert for me. I say, okay. And well, as you can see, it will stop at this line I want to. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
So for me, I can move the execution to any line I want to. Why? Because sometime here, I don't have a problem with some code. I'm sure that I don't have any bug in this code, but I'm not sure about this line. So what I'm going to do, what I want to do here, I want to move the execution directly to this line. In order to do, or this line, or doesn't matter really. All I have to do, I have just to go to the line, right click, and then just continue to here. Voila. And it will, of course, it will ask me to confirm. I will confirm, and now it will move to this specific line, as you can see. That's what we call continue to. That means I'm just asking the debugger to move directly to this specific line. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Again, whenever you need to read the example, go through everything is written here. I'm just explaining it for you, but that's the meaning here. You go through it, try to read it, try to understand it, and that's it. Breakpoint. We also discussed breakpoint before. So what are breakpoints? Well, let's use the same code. I need to open my DevTools. Click. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to the debug mode. Now, what if I want to go to this line specifically, but I don't want to use continue to? Is there another way to do it? Well, yes. I can add breakpoints. So what is the breakpoint? I just need to go to the line I want to, click. And as you can see now, I have something blue. That's what we call the breakpoint. Okay. So what is the breakpoint? The breakpoint here, if I click on this resume button, the blue one, or this one here, so either this one, or this one, the blue one, and now it will go directly to this specific line because I have a breakpoint, it will stop from the name. Breakpoint, it will stop at the breakpoint. I can add a lot of breakpoint if I want to, it's not a problem. For me, I can add as much as I want to. And of course, if you notice here, when I click on this one, resume, click, it will stop at my breakpoint, as you can see. I can, if I don't want the breakpoint anymore, I'm gonna click on it again and it's gone. And now here, if I click on resume again, it will stop at my breakpoint again, as you can see. Now, if I hit again, resume, it will stop at the next breakpoint here. So let's hit resume. Well, as you can see, it stopped at this breakpoint here. So what are breakpoint? Well, breakpoint are just a point where I want to stop the execution of my code. I want the code to be, all this code to be executed because I know it's not a problem. And I want to stop the execution of my code at this specific line. So I can add a breakpoint simply like that. Yes?
Yes.
Again, to create a breakpoint, it's super simple. I go to the line I want to, just click, and voila, that's a breakpoint. And of course, now I can just get rid of this one. Let's get rid of this one again. If I hit debug, and now if I hit resume, it will directly take me to my breakpoint and it will stop there. If I don't want the breakpoint anymore, I will right click on it and it's gone. And voila. Is it quite clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's simply a breakpoint here. Okay. We have a debugger statement. We also study this one. So whenever, let's say, I am inside my VS Code for some reason, I need to show you the debugger statement. It's here, it's fine. So debugger statement is just like a breakpoint. What do I mean by that? Well, let's open my dev tool. And now, if I click debug, now here, of course, if I click on this blue button where my code, it will stop executing. So this is resume, that means go through my code. I don't care, resume it. If I click on this button, where will my code stop?
22.
29.
Line 22.
No, at line 22. Because 22 debugger statement is just like a breakpoint. Voila. It's a debugger statement is just like a breakpoint. So you can imagine like you have a breakpoint like that. Debugger statement in JavaScript is the same as having a breakpoint. So if I resume my code, it will ask me, of course, it's confirm. I will confirm and it will stop in the debugger, as you can see. Notice I have a debugger here as well. If I hit resume again, it will stop at the debugger, as you can see. Voila, see? So a debugger statement is just like a breakpoint. The only difference between them is a breakpoint, I can just create a breakpoint, remove breakpoint, create it, remove it, it's fine. But the debugger statement, I cannot. I need to go to my text editor and then I need to remove it manually. It's not like a breakpoint, I can do it just here in the debug mode, put it, remove it. Here, I need to go here and delete this one. That's the only difference between the two. Yes?
Yes.
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 That should be okay. You can do the exercises, and to do the exercises, as you can see, we have some conditions. We have some loops, and here, what you need to do, you will do the same exactly. So you'll open this one, and then you will go line by line, and after that, there is a challenge asking you to do. Take your time with this exercise. This exercise help you to build your logic. So go line by line. Do not move to the next exercise if you don't understand the current one. Understand it, then move to the other one. That should be okay for me. I'm gonna do all of that. That should be okay. That's isolate, integrate is the same idea. Same example, same idea here. Nothing new. A variable condition for loop. I need to explain this one here. Okay, for you who has studied instances, it should be very simple. For you, I think Victoria only does not have studied instances. So what you can do, Victoria, Control C, let's get rid of this one. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Let's say you are studying this one here, isolate. Example or exercise, it doesn't matter. I will go to condition, let's say this one here. So what can you do is you don't have studied instances. So what you can do, you can just right click, create a new file and name it index.html. Voila. And this is index.html, you can use it for these two exercises. If you go to this one here, you will just copy the HTML and put it here. Okay, when I have an HTML, what do I need to do? Well, I just need to link my JavaScript file. Where is my JavaScript file? Well, here I can just say .. and as you can see, I have greeting and I have 5 characters. So first I want to solve the greeting. And here I'm gonna just link my greeting, voila. And now here I can open my HTML using live server. So if I click on this one, it will open my live server as you can see. And now here I can open my DevTools just like normal one, click. And if I open my DevTools here and I go to source, if I go to the source here, I should be able to find, let's say I did not find where is my code here. It's difficult for me to find my code. So how can I find my code? Well, it will be super simple. All you have to do, go to the greeting here, and here just add, what was the statement to add a breakpoint? What was the statement?
Debugger.
Debugger, voila. So we just add debugger like that. And now if I go to my code, again, where is it? And as you can see, voila, now it's giving me my code, everything is fine. If you don't like this guy, you can close it because normally here it show me my files. I don't care about the file. I just click on this one, it's closed. And now you have the same idea exactly like just study instances. And now you can go line by line, as you can see. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, click. So all you need to do here, you just need to create an HTML file here. And you need to link the current exercise. If you move to the second exercise, you need to change it, of course. You say .. 5 character, and that's the second exercise. When you are done with both, what you can do here, you can just copy or cut this file and move it to the next exercise, and then link this file until you finish it, then link this file, and so on and so on and so on. Is the idea clear, Victoria?
Yes, I saved this.
Good. Now let's explain a few concepts here. You will encounter this concept inside isolate, the exercise, and also in the integrate, you will see these exercises here. So let's explain some stuff here, which is called a conditional statement. So what are conditional statements in JavaScript? Can anyone tell me what are conditional statements in JavaScript?
Yes, if conditions, when you want to do something, you put if conditions within a block like this. And
sometime in my program, depending on some condition, I want something to happen. If this condition is something, I want something to happen. If, for example, to make it very simple, let's say I have a variable here and I'm going to use the keyword const, and here it will be grade. So that's mass grade, let's say. My mass grade, let's say, is 85, for example. Now, what I'm going to do here in my condition, in my program, I want if the grade is more than 95, I want to give this student an A or an A+, whatever. If this mark here is 85 or more, I want to give him B, for example. If it's 87 or less, I want to give him C. So as you can see here, depending on this grade value, I need to give this student a specific character, either A or B or C. And in this case here, I have no option but to use conditional statement. So how can we use conditional statement? First, what is the syntax? The syntax is simple. I can use just if, and voila, then I need a curly brace. Voila. Now here in the if here, this value here, it must be, at the end, it must be a Boolean. What do I mean by that? Well, I told you, if the grade, if my grade here, so if the grade is greater than or equal to 95, as you can see. So here, if the grade is more than or equal, greater than or equal, it's like that, but my text, so it will be like that, equal, like that. But of course, there is no space between them, just to show you, because my text editor changed this character. So if the grade is greater or equal to 95, I can give this student here, let's give him, for example, let's log something, and I will just say log A+, for example. Voila. But now I don't want only if it's greater than 95. I want it to be if it's greater than 85, for example, or also 87. So I have multiple conditions, as you can see. If I have multiple conditions in JavaScript, I can use else if. And else if it's just like if here, I need also a condition here. And also I need a body here, so curly brace like that. So here I can just say grade. If the grade is greater or equal to 85. 85. Voila. And here I can just log, for example, I can give this student A, for example. I will just give it A. So here A+, here A. But now I have more condition. Because I have more condition here, I need to add another else if. Here like that, for example, and I will give him B, for example. Notice something, I can have else if as much as I want to. It's fine. I cannot have multiple if. So I can have one if, I can have multiple else if, and I can have also one else. That's all I need. I can have also another else if I want to, and then I just say else. I don't care. Well, I will just say failed, for example. So what I'm doing here, well, as you can see, I have only one if statement, and I have only one else statement, and I have multiple else depending what I want. So I'm just checking. If the grade is greater or equal to 95, I want you to give the student A+. If the grade here is greater or equal to 85, okay. If it's greater or equal to 85, I want you to log A, but log is not correct, so it should be console.log. Log like that, voila. And I need to just get rid of this one. That should be good. Get rid of this one, voila. Then here, if the grade is greater or equal to 75, I want to give him B. If the grade is greater than or equal to 65, I want to give him C. Else, I don't care what the grade. If it's not 65 and greater than that means it will be less than 65. It cannot be 65 because I'm saying grade is greater or equal. That means here the equality also included. So if the grade is 65, it will go here. If it's less than 65, I don't care. I'm just going to give it value F. False, simple like that. Is the idea clear?
Yes.
What you need to understand that only one of these blocks is going to be executed. It's not possible for multiple of them to be executed. Only one of them is going to be executed. Well, let's go and try to go to our live server and try to do it. So let's go to our live server, click. If I go to my live server and I open my dev tools like that, as you can see, I have A. Why do I have A? Well, let's debug our code here. Again, to open the debug, if I go to the console.log, here's login A, it's telling me which line is login. This one, if I click on the line, it will take me directly to my code. So what I can do here, I can put a breakpoint here at this line. If I refresh my page, it will stop at the breakpoint. And now here I can just see grade is how much? It's 85. Does 85 greater or equal to 95? Does 85? No, of course it's false.
No.
And if I hover over it, it is false. Because it's a false, now it will go to the second condition. Notice, second condition. So here it's checking grade is 85 here. Does 85 is greater or equal to 85?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the reason why it will log A, as you can see. Voila. And now here, as you can see, only one of these statements is going to be executed. It's not possible for multiple of them to be executed. Let's change the value and go back again. Here, I want to make it, so let's go here, and I'm going to make it 15. Of course, 15, it will go to the else block, I know that, but now I will check all these conditions, and like that, it will allow you to understand a little bit more. So let's put a breakpoint here, refresh, voila. Now here's the grade. Is 15 greater or equal to 95? Of course, it's false. And if I highlight it, it will give me false. It will go to the second condition. Is 50 greater or equal to 85? Of course, it's false. It will jump to the next condition. Is 50 greater or equal to 75? Of course, it's false. I need to highlight all of it. So it's false again. It will go to here. Is 50 greater or equal to 65? Of course, it's false. If I highlight it, it will give me false. Now I will have no other condition. I will go to the else block. And now it will go to the else block, and voila, it will log F, as you can see. Is the idea clear? That's what we call conditional statement. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, so conditional statement, you can do it this way, or you can have also, you can have only if you want to. For example, if grade is greater or equal to 50 console.log, you did not, he did not pass the exam actually. You did not pass the exam. I can add only one if block here if I want to. It's really depend what do I want in my program. I don't need to have all the time if else. I can have just one if that's what I need to. And if I remove the breakpoint, go here, refresh, and as you can see, it will say you did not pass the exam. Why? Because here I'm saying the grade is greater or equal to 50. It's actually equal to 50. And this condition, it will be true. Then this code, it will be executed. Voila. So I can have if alone if I want to. I can have if and else alone, just if and else like that. And here I can just log, for example, you pass the exam, something like that. Actually, it doesn't make sense because here should be gray, so here should be you pass the exam, here should not be pass exam. So I'm gonna move this one here, and I'm gonna move this guy to here. But what I'm gonna do here, I'm just make it nice, number 16, for example. So if the grade is 16 or more than 16, you pass the exam. If it's not greater than 16 or equal to 16, you fail the exam, simply like that. So I can have if and else block if I want to. And if I go here, you tell me you pass the exam. Why I did pass the exam? Because it's 16. And see here, my condition, if the grade is greater than 16 or equal to 16, which in my case, it's equal to 16, that means I pass the exam. If it's 15, of course, as you can see, 15 is not greater or equal to 60. 50 is not equal or greater to 60. That means it will show you did not pass the exam, as you can see. Is it quite clear?
Yes.
So that's conditional statement. I can have, again, if I want to, I can have if alone, I can have if else, or if I want to, I can have if, else, if, else. And here, else if, I can use multiple times depending on my need. That's what you call conditional statement. Yeah, let me explain just, I don't know if I can explain loops now, it's too early. Fine, let's just stop. I'm not gonna explain loop for now. I'm gonna explain loop tomorrow, because if I'm gonna give you the loop is, I need to explain all type of loop, it will be too much for you for today. So today, just stick with the conditional statements. That should be enough for you. When you to come to loop, for loop, and stuff like that, try just to understand the exercises. And if you have, just leave it for tomorrow. Is it fine?
Yes.
Yes, Sam, if we take input from user, for example, in an if statement,